What's up, everybody? I just finished this Kaiyodo Mechagodzilla 93 soft vinyl kit for a client. I believe this is a 20 centimeter scale, just like a lot of the other Kaiyodos that I built in the past. I sold those though, so I don't really have them to compare. But Mechagodzilla 93 is a really popular monster. I think without actually having any sources to back this up currently off the top of my head, I'm going to say that the Hesei era is probably the most popular Godzilla series in my experience. Of course, this being from the 1993 movie Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And I really got to say, as time goes on, I kind of enjoy this movie more and more. And with this kit, the client wanted a nighttime inspired paint job, which was a new challenge, and more than just adding dark shades of black in the crevices, I really wanted to throw in a little bit of a sunset kind of reflection. The cool thing about this figure, as you'll see later on, is that depending on the light source, its colors do change dramatically. I wanted to use some coppers and purples, as well as a combination of the two, to also do like little slight hues of what could be like light reflecting off of the armor. And really, when this thing is outdoors in natural light, it really pops. I shouldn't call this Mechagodzilla a monster. He's not a cyborg like the 1970s version. This is just, he's really a glamorized vehicle built by the government to combat Godzilla, but he is super powerful, really strong. Just weapons, just like the 70s, weapons from, well, weapons out of his ass, really. Now, this is a very stylistic sculpt. It's a take that isn't accurate to the movie. First of all, the pose is a lot more flamboyant than anything we see in the movie, as well as the tail on this figure actually drags on the ground. And in the movie, Mechagodzilla's tail is never long enough or mobile enough, flexible enough to really hit the ground. I find it interesting that Kaiyodo took that liberty with the pose and the stance, because I don't really feel like that's what they generally do. My other Godzillas from them were not done in similar style. Here's an idea of the natural daylight shots that I was talking about. I really like the way it just reflects off the armor, which is what I wanted. So you have the shadows and the shading like it is a nighttime look. When you have it in a dark room, in a regular lit room, it'll look darker. You bring it outdoors and it's shiny enough, it's glossy enough that it'll pop and reflect those colors, and those coppers and those purples will come out a bit. Now, some of the parts of this kit by the joints are not as smooth as I would have liked. The thing is, this kit was partially assembled before I started working on it by somebody else, and some of the glue residue just didn't come off all the way no matter how many times I cleaned it, and I didn't want to sand it completely down because I was noticing that I was starting to take away from the actual detail of the piece itself and the sculpt, so I started leaving things alone. But I think for the most part, it kind of gets hidden in the shadows, so to speak, of the sculpt, especially with me doing the nighttime effect, making the shadows a little bit more exaggerated than I normally would have done this. And he looks a bit weathered in some pictures, but I really think it really adds to the badassery of this piece, so I'm happy with it. And as we all know, Mechagodzilla ultimately ends up having to get roughed up and get his ass kicked, so there's always that. And that's pretty much gonna wrap this up. I really appreciate you guys watching this, as always. Thank you for all your support. Hope everybody stays happy and safe. Until next time, peace.